How's it kicking, kickbacks? Sorry for the lack of updates, but I've had a bit of a creativity drought lately, and it's still kind of present. Regardless, I'm still going to try and write scripts whenever I can, but all of that aside, Generations Rattrap. This guy was my favorite character from the Beast Wars cartoons. I was kind of sick of the "we must be the most morally sound, utterly nice and kind and moral superheroes ever" type of good guys. Rattrap added an interesting dynamic to the show, being like cowardly, traitorous, almost downright unloyal to his cause. But enough about the character, how's the plastic? Well, let's start with the positives. Positive number 1, accuracy. This is a near-perfect representation of the CGI model from the Beast Wars. There's the silver and orange paneling and patterns perfectly positioned, passively presenting Rattrap's technological tapestry, or, as a normal human being would say, the arms look good. The legs have a proper combination of hyper-futuristic robot bits seamlessly implemented with the furry bits of his animalistic alt mode. Torso is, well, it's a torso made of a rat's head, so, there you go. And the head sculpt, so good. It has the red glowing eyes, the permanently plotting smirk, the perfect shade of bronze, and they even got the glowing robo-brain part right. It's made of this cloudy translucent plastic, and because of that the light piping works really well. The only accuracy problem is the backpack, and it's just a bit too big, but you know, when is it not? One thing that's not accurate is the weapons, and we'll get to that. Positive number 2, posability. He doesn't have the best moves in the world, he can strike some slick poses if you mess with him enough. Now the legs are the most impressive when it comes to articulation. You can bend 90 degrees at the knee in both directions, so for those of you who have a thing for broken kneecaps, Rattrap's got you covered. There's a full range of motion at the thigh swivel, and a standard ball joint right above that. Now we move to the kind of okay, but it could be better segment. There is a ball joint at the shoulder with a decent range of movement, but every time I move it around it comes unhinged right here, and it doesn't look very good. There is a bend at the elbow, but it doesn't quite go to 90 degrees. And then we get to the elbow swivel. Warning, entering nitpicking territory. Proceed with caution. So it may not be apparent, but the little rat hands are made of a more rubbery and pliable plastic than the rest of the plastic on the figure. This wouldn't be a problem if the elbow swivel wasn't made of the same material. Since it is, the movement is sticky and annoying and not at all smooth, and it's just kind of awkward to turn. Finally, the head is on a 360-degree swivel and a little tilt, and that's partially due to transformation. Overall, articulation is okay, but it's missing a few key points like wrist swivels and a waist swivel. And now we get to the negatives of the figure. Negative number 1, plastic feel. While a lot of Transformers have been hollow and cheap lately, I don't think I forgot about you. Something just went wrong with Rattrap. The legs feel nice and up to par with some of Hasbro's other great Generations figures. Everything from the waist up just feels cheap and thin. The plastic in the arms just feels really fragile, and that in tandem with the sticky and bad joints, it just makes the figure feel... I can't really find the words to describe it. The strange thing is that it seems to be kind of an opposite to FOC Onslaught. All the clashing combiner kibble on this dude, it's kind of hard to get any good poses out of him. But the movement he does have feels solid and normal, like any other standard Hasbro figure. Rattrap, on the other hand, can get some cool poses, but getting to them is just unfun, which is bad considering the fact that he's a toy. It's kind of hard to show on camera, but get one in hand and you'll probably understand what I mean. I've been picking on the hollowness of this guy a lot, and you may be thinking, come on man, a lot of Hasbro figures have been hollow as of late. How are you picking on this one so much? Well, take Rhinox. He's a hollow figure, as many shell formers are, and has many thin parts. The plastic he's made of feels durable and strong though, like if a child were to chuck this at a wall, he would be okay. For the most part. Rattrap just doesn't quite meet that level of plastic quality. Negative number 2, the transformation. Oh my goodness. So with Rhinox, I take him out of the box and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at how awesome he is. Look at how show accurate he is. It's amazing. Test the posability. Oh my goodness, he can do so many cool poses. He has such mobility. And with transformation, I was like, oh my gosh, the transformation is so innovative and good and easy and fun. With a Rattrap, I was like, yeah, he's pretty good looking. Yeah. With the posability, I was like, okay, that's cool story, Hasbro. And then I got to the transformation. Even with the instructions, it took me like 5 or 10 minutes the first couple of times I transformed it. I've heard other reviewers say it's okay, but I cannot... Whoops. I've heard other reviewers say it's okay, but I can't stand it. All the panels clash together, the plastic feels flimsy and weak and like it's gonna snap every time I do a sudden movement on it, and it doesn't even have the common courtesy to hold itself together when I'm done. Whew, I need a second. Obligatory size comparison. Okay, since we've talked about the transformation, let's talk about the alt mode. Now, credit where credit is due, this is a fairly good representation of Rattrap's beast form. Unfortunately, if you try and stand it up like he always was in the show, it just shows off all his ugly robo-kibble. But I can't really blame Hasbro too much, like, it would be a nightmare trying to engineer a shell former that covers up everything. The articulation in this mode is limited to the head swivel, little mouth opening, a pretty nice bendy wire tail, and some moving legs. The detail looks really good though, with the realistic brown fur texture, the gradient brownish orange bits around the back, and the skeletal rat fingers. Obligatory size comparison. Negative number 3. Accessories. So let's jump back to the robot mode for a second. Wait, you want me to do what? Just transform it back. Are you serious? No! It takes an eternity and it's awful! Come on. You know, sometimes I hate you. We're the same person. So there are two guns which combine together to form the show-accurate shotgun, and his forearm stored explosive. Oddly colored, right? Not only did Hasbro make them the same color as his light piping for seemingly no reason, but they also had the audacity to have no paint apps whatsoever. The saddest part is that they actually look really cool. They're show accurate as far as I can tell, and would have looked really nice if there were just like 2 or 3 paint apps on either of them. They end up being one of the lowest points of this figure. As a side note, putting the mine into his hand feels like it's stressing the plastic. So, you know, just be careful. You don't want the thumb to snap off. So in the end, what do I think? Well, this is definitely a letdown. I heard a bunch of other reviewers praising how excellent this toy is in comparison to a bunch of its other counterparts in the Generations line, and I just can't agree entirely. Yes, the paint apps are great, the detail is spot on, and the poses you can get look really nice, but everything in between is just unpleasant. The movement feels stiff, it feels badly put together, and the transformation is abysmal. The accessories are a lazy joke, and the plastic quality is just wrong. Do I recommend this toy? Well, it depends on the buyer. For me, this guy was worth the price of admission. I love Rattrap enough as a character that I can overlook the major problems this figure has. If Rattrap was your favorite, then yeah, you're definitely going to want to pick him up. Is he better than the original toy? Well, obviously. Does he look great? Yes, but does he function well? It's debatable. If you're someone who wants to get only the high quality ones out of the line, like Springer and Rhinox, then you may just want to give this guy a pass. I'd suggest watching a couple other reviews before you make a decision, because it may just be some QC issues with mine. But overall, it was still a disappointment. Anyways, I've been Flame Pickle of the Pickle System, and I don't really have a clever thing to say. Go pick up Rhinox, I guess. He's pretty good all around. The legs have a perfect focus please. The legs have a perfect combination of robotic bits and furry animal-like Nope. That's not what I wrote. The legs have a proper combination of his Nope, those aren't the right words. The legs have a proper combination of his robot mode. Nope. The legs have a proper combination of hyper-futuristic robot bits seamlessly implemented with gosh darn it. The legs have a proper combination of I keep forgetting my lines, good grief.